A brief tutorial on how to light your Amazen Tube. This is my Amazen Tube. I've been using it for many years. Best thing you can do, pack it mostly full. Make sure you shake it and get it nice and good and packed so you know that you have the right amount. I leave an inch or two at the top because when I tilt it, I don't want them to come pouring out because this will be the end of that is burning. Once you have filled the tube, you need to make sure your pellets are dry. So if you put them on a paper plate and throw them in the microwave for about a minute and a half, they will definitely be dry. So we will do that. So it's in the microwave. Minute 30. You get the idea. After you've microwaved your pellets to make sure they're dry, I will split mine across 2 paper plates, and that way I can just reach in and fold this plate in half and use this as a funnel to pour it in to the top of my tube so that I can get it filled. Once your tube is filled up to the top here, I would recommend you take and give it a few shakes and a few taps. You want those to be as settled down into the tube as you can. You want them nice and compacted. That way when they burn, they're going to conduct to one another as best as they can, and it keeps the burn going through the tube a little bit better. It's not a huge amount that it's packed down as I've done this, but it has gone down a little bit as I've been shaking this for, 30, 45 seconds, something like that. Now we're going to go light it. Alright, we're going to light it now. Currently I have my vent closed. My Masterbuilt 40 is heating. I smoke at 275 for almost everything. I highly recommend an actual propane torch. The keys to making this work are getting a good smolder to begin with, having a hot enough source to make sure that happens. Once you put it in, making sure you have enough airflow to keep it going. You do those things and you have dry pellets, you will get good smoke, okay? So we just give this a turn. See the flame? Now I'm of course doing this on top of my smoker, which is a fairly good place. I am on a wooden deck, so I try to be nice and careful. And I'm going to start heating this, as you can see, a little distance down from the top. Now I'm going to heat it all the way around. And it'll start to burn. And that's okay. We want the flame to begin with. You don't want a flame eventually, but to begin with, you want to have a flame. This is why you need the torch, because you need this to get good and hot. You need combustion. You need to get these pellets actually burning. Otherwise, then when you blow them out and you put it inside, they're not going to be smoldering quite right. There's not going to be enough heat in them. They're not going to stay lit, and you're not going to end up with the smoke that you desire. So having good fire to begin with is a really key ingredient. So I've got about the top inch and a half, give or take, burning pretty good here. See? Now I want to let this burn for a while. Don't blow it out right away. Good 4 or 5 minutes. And if it starts to get a little small, that flame starts to die down, I'll hit it again with the torch just to make sure. I want to make absolutely sure this first layer is as hot as possible so that when I blow this fire out, that it smolders and makes that beautiful white smoke that gives all the flavor when you're making delicious smoked meats. So we're about 2.5 minutes in to the beginning of the smoldering of these, and that flame is getting a little small for my liking, so I'm just going to come back in, hit it again, give it some more fire, make sure we get good combustion. We absolutely need this first set to be smoking at the right temperature. but it's going to keep all of the rest of them down the line going. As long as it's hot enough to begin with and packed well enough, you will have continued combustion. Now by doing this, out of this tube, I can get 5 to 6 hours of very good smoke. And for me at least, that's as much smoke as I ever want on anything. Go beyond that and the smoke just begins to get too strong. Depends on your tastes, depends on the flavor of pellets or wood that you use for how long you want to smoke. But for me, that is enough. I'm using a blend here. It's hickory, apple, cherry, and pecan pellets. And those are kind of all of my favorites, and so I just have a blend of all of them together right now because I had the end of a couple of bags. I'm doing 2 racks of spare ribs. One has got the Killer Hogs barbecue rub. The other is a brand new bottle of Famous Dave's rib rub. Just real quick about the inside of my smoker. I already threw the meat in, it's just waiting. So I've got the Famous Dave's on the top, and I've got the Killer Hogs in the bottom. And then I have 2 catch pans staggered below, so anything that drips off will catch it. Right down here on my bottom rack, opposite of where my pull-out tube is, right over here is where I'm going to put the smoker, or the Amazen Tube, to put smoke in the smoker. Alright, we're 4 or 5 minutes in to having this going. I've had to hit the propane on it a few times because the wind today keeps blowing it out. There's off and on a wind, and it's kind of chilly here in Minnesota at the moment, in northern Minnesota, and it's been raining today, so it's not optimal smoking conditions, but hey, smoke on. So you can see it just blew out again, but that's okay. You can see that beautiful white smoke. That's what we're looking for. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up my smoker. I'm going to grab this on the top with my tongs. And then you'll be able to see, I'm going to slide this in on the bottom rack on the far side away from where my vent is, my pull-out vent for the smoker. I am going to smoke at about 75% open. Now we need to make sure, and this is important, pull your tube about halfway out. That allows more air to get in. And you're going to see here shortly, it's going to let that smoke come on out. That's what we want. A little hard to see the smoke today because the wind is blowing it away. But you just want a thin, light trickle of that beautiful white smoke. Now that smoke is starting to infuse itself onto the meat, and in, I don't know, 4.5 hours, we're going to have some delicious spare ribs to eat.